Good morning, it's Brian at Fitzpatrick's Garage, Dublin Road, Kildare. So I'm going to show you this Honda Civic Type R. Brian's my name. If there's any information you'd like to know on these cars, please give us a call 045 531 000 or mobile 086 843 1945. So this is a Honda Civic Type R. I think most people that are going to be watching this kind of an advertisement or video are pretty much aware of what the car is. So we do have the Civics that we generally sell, which are, and actually there's a good comparison. Here's a Civic Diesel Sport. So just if we compare the back end of these two cars, and these are the cars that you'll generally see on the road quite often, but when we get over here there's a pretty significant difference. So the first thing at the back is, and again this is kind of the first time I've really had a good look around this car, so my knowledge is still limited, so just bear with me on it. I suppose the most impressive thing on the back is this wing along the back. I've read reports basically that it's adding a really high amount of downforce to the back of the car, so the faster the car gets, the more it seems to be getting pressed onto the road, which improves traction. Spoiler along here, which actually is standard on the road going car as well, and it's just colour coded, but it finishes quite well with the high mounted spoiler that's got a more aerodynamic purpose. Along here, along the centre, that is a black finish. Okay, these are standard even on the actual let's say road going normal model, and they're for wind resistance reduction to increase fuel efficiency. The back of the car though has got a quad exhaust setup, a nice big diffuser which aids airflow along the bottom of the car. And the reason I say that is, if we look underneath this car, okay, if you look how flat the underneath of that car is, so again we have exhausts coming over on both sides, but if you can imagine the air, the way it travels down underneath that car with the flat sections, and then the way it's allowed to exit along the back, it has a massive impact, I would imagine, on airflow. The wheel arches compared to a normal one are significantly bulkier. The reason for that, I guess, is I'm assuming a wider track of some sort, but a lot of that is attributed to these wheels. So there's a 19-inch wheel, which has a 235 35 19 tyre to go with it. The red stripe along the outside is standard on them all, and then we have a Brembo brake caliper and disc setup. So quite a nice looking wheel, and then down the side there's a black skirt that goes down along to complement the front wheel arch, which is flared. So again there's an area here for wind flow. The brakes look to be ventilated along the front. The disc is massive. I actually don't know the size of the disc off the top of my head, which I know is very bad, but again this is the first time I've really had a good look around the car. Massive Brembo caliper at the front, so quite impressive to look at. Moving around along the front of the car with again the black style skirt that's I suppose themed and continued all the way around, and that complements the rear diffuser along the back. Just looking at the car from a practical point of view, so if we compare it to the normal Civic that's here, which is quite nice looking, and they did a facelift on the car mid 2015 with bigger, fatter bumpers, but it's just once you put it beside this is so impressive looking. So big honeycomb grille setup along the front. The headlights are quite cool on these actually. So what we have is a two xenon bulbs along here. So you have your full light in here, two xenon setups along through here, and then we have our daytime running light that normally comes up along here as well, so it looks quite cool. Front fog light is normal, which is a normal halogen kind of setup. In through the grille we can see a massive intercooler. Let's have a look under the bonnet of that car. So black door handles, it's got a keyless entry function as well. So down through here we'll pop the bonnet. Haven't driven the car yet, so I'd love to be able to give you more information on the dash, but we'll have to stay tuned for a while for that. Okay, so in terms of, right, sorry about the really bad camera work. So this engine is 2 litre turbocharged, so that's producing 310 horsepower. So it's got a VTEC setup, but it's also got a turbocharger intercooler setup, so first time on Type R models, but that's probably the reason that there's such a significant performance difference between this and the last model. So the last model, I suppose, FN2, which was like 0.7, and that car was 2 litre K20, but I guess with kind of cars continually getting heavier and there's more safety restrictions and all that kind of stuff, and I suppose competition as well from other manufacturers, to be the best, I guess they've really had to make some significant changes. So as you can see, it's a tightly packed, and again we're just going to drop down this bonnet here, so just bear with me on the really bad camera work for a minute, maybe all the way through actually. Okay, so after that, just for some people I think that are going to practically look at a car like this, there is actually some practicalities to it. The boot setup is absolutely no different than a normal Honda Civic. I'm just going to take this out of the way for a sec. So we have an area down along here for a nice deep boot if you want. I suppose you could put a spare wheel in there as well, but I'm assuming the kind of buyer that's going to buy this car, lightweight is going to be important to them. Puncture repair kit, this is no different than a normal Honda Civic. And then jack and wheelbase set up in through there if you want. Grab handle along here. That spoiler, by the way, just compared to a normal one, it doesn't feel any heavier when you're opening or closing the boot. That's just one thing I've noticed there. Back seats, so we have a cloth back seat with red stitching, red safety belts down through there as well. Red stitching along the door cards. Now apologies, this camera is quite poor and it's picking up some horrible light from the sun, but okay, with the back seats, just to make sure, right, we don't have a magic seat set up, so just something that I'm just after learning there. Okay, seats, we have a massive bucket style seat in the front. There's a padding actually that comes around the back, which is a good idea because I'm presuming if you're sitting in the car, yeah, that's a hell of a lot more comfortable than normal. Yeah, same as this as well, so anyway, so that's quite practical. Like, it's no different. Actually, it's got 2 isofix points as well, so it's really no different than the back of a normal Honda Civic. Okay, it's probably more geared towards 2 people in the back because there is no 3-point safety belt, so it's a 4-seater rather than a 5-seater, but there's an element of practicality there as well. Up front, right, that is a nice seat. I'll show you that in a sec better, but the same electrics and windows, controls that you'd have in a normal Honda Civic, same cruise control setup. Right, what we'll do is start stop function. Alright, so basically clock start up, can't go for drive because big window in front of me. So this is identical to, yeah, okay, so that's got the normal setup you'd have. Right, actually the clocks were turned down. I'm just going to turn that off again and let's start it back up. Alright, we get Type R along here, which is specific to this model, and then we get red clock, clocks do sweep, and then it's the white clock setup. I'll come back to it in a sec, but we do have the R button obviously as well, which gives us a red kind of finish along that. Well, it does more than that. First thing I notice is it's terrible like this gear knob setup. It's like, oh, how would you describe it? Like older Type R's, and it's like maybe fast Renault Sports and things like that. So, and that gearbox, yeah, okay. So the first thing you'd notice straight away, it's easy to move, all right, but it's got a short throw. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it feels, it's just really precise. We have USB. We have 2 USB connectors. It's really hot in here, by the way, so I'm kind of sweating a bit. 12-volt outlet, HDMI, so we can play like, again, so all the practical stuff you have in a normal one. Crash mitigation set up down through there. Again, this here is, yeah, okay, so we still have the reversing camera, so we've got all the practical stuff. Heating controls up through there with air conditioning. I might turn that on for a sec actually because I'm so warm. So yeah, okay, all the practical kind of stuff. Anyway, some people are roaring at the screen at this stage going, I'm so bored, I don't care about all this stuff. So again, it's just to give you an idea that there is an element of practicality to the car as well. After that then, okay, a lot of the stuff up through here. So we got the clocking centre, big speedo up through here. Red line coming in at about 7,000, and I'm sure the limiter probably cuts in a little bit past that as well. I made up through here, which is things like just telling you how to start the car, audio off, just things like how long the car's been going. Right, I see a G meter, I see a lateral G meter, and then I see a turbo setup there. It's telling us, I'm presuming, what kind of pressure or what way the turbo is operating. And then after that, usual speedo setup down through here. I'm assuming that the car is going to tell us what gear we're in, all that kind of stuff as well after that. Into an R mode then. So clocks are gone red. We've got an R that's coming up through here. Red background launcher there. Now I've got turbo set up. I've got engine temperature, water temperature, so I've got a lot more information. I've got a lap timer down through here. Again, sorry about the sun in the background. Yeah, okay, another lap timer as well. 0 to 400, 0 to 60, back into our G, and all those kind of control setups. So pretty cool information that I suppose it's nice to know, and it gives you an idea of what way you're driving. I can't make much of sweat in the summer. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start the car. Okay, the first thing I noticed about the car is that there's a bit of a home office alright. So I'm just going to turn on the heating here the fan here for a sec. To be fair, if you start up a normal car, and this is even without rating it, just leaving it sit like that at the moment, there's a bit of a hum off it, which you'd expect obviously for a car like that, but it's a nice little sound. It's not too loud, but it just makes you kind of understand that you're sitting in something that's unusual, and not basically run of the mill. So after that then, the very cool thing is these seats. They're really, really nice. So massive amount of support, and I guess that's really important if you're going to track a car like this. So if you want to push the car hard, to get in and out of them, it's pretty easy. There's a bit of a lip along here, which you do need to adjust for, but the whole thing is you want a car or a seat that's going to hold you in. So I think if I'm sitting back like this now, I've got no real lateral movement, so I suppose the harder you push a car, the stiffer and more straight upright you can stay in the seat, the more comfortable you are, the quicker you can go, I guess. But it feels very exciting, and this is just from sitting in the car as well, so I'm just going to turn it off. Anyway, at some stage hopefully we'll get to drive one. So that's a quick overview. If you want information on the car, Brian's my name, just give us a call at 045 531 000, mobile 086 843 1945. We'll have some pictures of this car up at www.hondacentre.ie, and hopefully when these cars is of interest, because it looks very exciting, so I really hope some people buy them. And thanks for taking time to watch.